Our children can be our greatest teachers. What are some of the greatest lessons your child has taught you?
Well, I mean, everybody says patience, but it's true. You know, kids do teach you patience, especially when they're really, really little, the infant stage. It's like, you know, dealing with the diaper changing and the spilling of stuff and the accidents and all of that. You know, there are things that are completely out of their control, and you just have to, you got to deal with it. You know, and you have to learn some patience with them, because you can't expect them to all of a sudden grow up and know how to do these things. Aside from that, the kind of typical answer, I feel like what kids teach you, he's taught me to let go. You know, I don't know if I'm gonna say it because I'm a Virgo or because I'm a Midwesterner, but I tended to hold on to grudges. Like when you upset me, when you made me mad, you know, I was mad at you for, I was mad at you really until I could get you back, kind of deal. You know what I'm saying? So, but he's taught me.
Petty.
I guess I was a little, a little petty back then. But what he's taught me is that, you can let that stuff go, and it's not. He hasn't taught it to me because I've had to do it so much. It's more so that he's done it, and I've witnessed him doing it. So, just for example, I would chastise him about something. He would be doing something he wasn't supposed to, and I would get on him about it, and he would get upset, and it would be to the point where, he was crying and screaming and kicking, and I would put him in his room for the timeout, this little timeout thing that we try to do. And, 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, after I had just, taken away the iPad or, made him go to his room, whatever it was that I did to discipline him, he would be sitting in my lap like, everything was sweet, like nothing had ever really happened. So he's definitely taught me how to let go a lot quicker, not to hold on to these grudges like I used to. Yeah.
Thanks, kid. Okay.
That's just with him. It doesn't work with you.
It does. I'm gonna keep this part in the video, so I'm not gonna cut this. What are you looking forward to the most when it comes to our son's future?
What am I looking forward to the most?
Please don't say something that I think.
I'm looking forward to teaching him about women, about girls. Like I'm not
looking forward to him and girls.
I can't wait until I can, just put in all of the knowledge that I have, just invest all of this.
And tell him not to do like the things you did for like the first 20, I 3, 4, 5 years. I don't know.
I want to infuse this knowledge that I have about, the fairer sex and how to manipulate your way. No, that wasn't the right word. Navigate your way.
The same thing.
That was Freudian slip. Navigate your way through these relationships. I mean, I didn't really have that type of relationship with my father. There wasn't a situation where he really kind of sat me down and was like, this is what you need to do, or if I had an issue with a young lady, it wasn't like he was like, hey, maybe you should try this, or you do this or do that. So I want to have that type of rapport with my son, so that to help him from creating heartbreak. So you know what I'm saying?
Clean it up.
To kind of, it would help, if somebody would be like, that it would have helped me if somebody would have told me, hey, maybe you shouldn't do that, or maybe you shouldn't say that. So I want to be able to. I'm looking forward to having those conversations with him. You know.
Okay.
So.
I wish I hadn't asked that question. All right. What do you wish people knew about fatherhood?
What do I wish that people knew about fatherhood? I wish people knew that it wasn't some type of death sentence. That it's not this, life-ending type of situation. I wish people knew that it's not as hard as you might think it is. You don't have to be perfect at it to be pretty good. But yeah, guys feel like sometimes, oh, my life is over. I done got this girl pregnant and blah, blah, all this other stuff. And that's not what it is. So, it's an enriching and very enriching experience. It's definitely, it is.
Okay, so 2 more questions. What does it mean to be a black father in America?
What does it mean to be a black father in America?
Yes. So if you had to explain to your white coworkers about the differences in your experience as a black father, or your fears or your worries as a black father compared to theirs.
Well, I don't know how different the experience might be. I feel like fathers kind of across the board that are actually involved with their kids get a lot of praise. You know what I'm saying? If you see fathers out with the kids, people always give you these looks like, oh man, look at that. It's a good father right there.
Even when he throwing the tantrum.
Mothers don't get that so much because there's an expectation of mothers to be more involved with the kids. What does it mean? What does it mean to be a black father in America?
Because there's a difference. We talk about it as mothers. We do.
There's definitely a difference. To be a black father in America, sometimes it means being not hopeless, but like I cannot be I cannot aggressively I can't aggressively defend or protect my children and my family without the fear of me losing my life, them losing their life. At the ultimate, kind of at the end of the day, there is a lot of helplessness, almost a feeling of in some ways being stripped of the idea of manhood, or what to be able that idea that I can protect and defend my family aggressively is something that you can't it's not something that you have as a guarantee. Like you're not guaranteed that you'll be able to do that. And I feel that black fathers, more than most, especially more than white fathers, need to be able to do that because of the way that our children are perceived and handled when it comes to authority, when it comes to their educators. We need to be able to defend our families, defend our children, and it's perceived a lot of times as being overly aggressive, sometimes being criminal to just defend our families, being able to protect our families. So being a black father, also being a black father in America is also kind of like being. It's like being an actual unicorn, because people don't believe that.
But y'all exist.
Right. People don't believe that we exist. People, kind of think that, have bought into the narrative that black fathers are deadbeat dads. They're not involved with their kids. And this is married or not, co-parenting. And living where we live, East Atlanta, this kind of boulevard. Not Boulevard, but we're not Boulevard. We are Glenwood, Belvedere Park. This area, I see black fathers with their children all the time, and they're young men out with their children. So it baffles me that there's this. I mean, I'm not gonna say it baffles me, but it just frustrates me that there is this ongoing kind of myth about absentee black fathers, uninvolved black fathers. That's very frustrating, to be part of a group that people think doesn't really exist. So
that was my question. Good job. The last question is actually from one of your sister-in-laws. As a black man raising a black boy in America, what is the most important yet practical lesson that you feel you have to teach or prepare our son for?
I mean, this kind of ties into the question that you just asked me. I feel the most practical and important lesson to teach him is restraint. I mean, you have to restrain yourself even when you shouldn't have to. And you knowing how to restrain yourself in certain situations could be the difference between life and death for a black man or a black woman, but especially for a black man. Because of the way that we're viewed as these superhuman, super strength, super aggressive beings, when we're human like everybody else. So restraint is something that a very important lesson that I'm going to have to teach him, because there are tons of situations where I would like to lose that restraint. Like when I would like to really just maybe verbally tear into somebody, or if I've been physically assaulted, I want to kind of, maybe, I don't know if retaliate is the right word, but exact some type of retribution. If somebody around me has been violated, I want to be able to, again, protect and defend that person. And you're not always able to do that, especially when what I was saying was that restraint was the most important lesson, most important and practical lesson that I would have to teach him. There are times when you are justified in your anger. You're justified in a response that is, fueled by that anger, and you can't make that. You can't engage in that action, because as a black man in America, your legitimate anger is seen as wild aggression, so yeah, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to teach him that he will have to restrain himself. He'll have to curb his